cartoonist, um, artist. Well, the thing that I've done is draw this comic strip that I've been doing for a long time. The professor and the kid. It all started with a kid having a dream of westerns, of being in a western, robbing banks, having shootouts, blowing up things, and he wakes up. And then you see the professor after that. And the professor is working on his inventions. And the kid is having a rough day, like a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And then later on in the strip, the professor finishes his time machine. He goes through time, and the kid has one of the worst days of his life, the worst nights. And it's a 24-hour basis, like 24. I put a time period on a time, like 12 o'clock. And I think the original one I put was like 5 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. And I think I ended it back at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. I don't remember. I would have to look at all my cartoons because I have a lot of cartoons that I've done. But the professor finally gets back, and the kid, he's looking for the professor, and he's saying, "Where's the professor? I can't find him." So he looks for him, and he finds a time remote control, and it goes through time, and he meets up with the kid professor, and he's going through time. His remote control breaks, and he's like, "Oh, I'm stuck in time." So now the professor's looking for him. So after that, I go to Alice in Wonderland and through the Looking Glass. The professor is through the Looking Glass, and the kid is Alice in Wonderland. And I really enjoyed that because that's one of my favorite stories. And after I finished that, I put uh, the kid. Well, he's really looks like he's grown up, but he's still a kid as an outlaw, and he has people looking for him. And they finally catch up with him because he's a bank robber, and the bad guys don't like that he's been robbing more banks in the West than they can. So the professor finally gets. Well, he's in there, and he's been there looking for the kid because that's where he's been looking for a long time for the kid in many places, and he finally finds him in the Western times, and he saves him, and he invents a new machine to take them back to 1983. So they go, or 1985, and so they go, but something happens. The machine splits, and takes them to it takes the professor to 1955, 1958, I think, and it takes the kid to alternate universe, and the story goes from there. So, where I'm going from this point in my cartoons is I'm really thinking that it's kind of where everybody's in this alternate universe, everybody's been that doesn't belong, kind of like Howard the Duck, but not too much. It's just inspirement stuff. It's just stuff that I really think that makes a good story, but I don't really know if I'll ever figure out a way to finish it. But I'm going to finish the story some way because I really love to make the stories how they are and just have them come out great. I love drawing. Let's just love drawing. I love drawing ever since I was in elementary, and it's just been a passion of mine. It it's like basketball. I love basketball. I love football. I love sports. I love listening to sports radio, even if it's like national syndicated sports radio. But the professor and the kid, I took the time period, the time off for because I was thinking that it was time to stop doing that because 24 stopped, but now 24 is back. So I'm still debating, should I put time, should I put a date on it? Should I end the series now and look for a different kind of thing to draw, or should I keep on doing it? That's the real thing that I'm trying to figure out. But I think I'm going to stick with it because I really want to finish it. I really want to make it something where people look at when I'm gone and say, wow, you drew all this? This is pretty incredible. He's really a great, he really had a passion for this. He really had some great ideas or and stuff. So drawing and thinking of what you're gonna draw is a really interesting thing because you think and you think and you think and you're like, is that a good idea? Is that a good idea? Should I put that in the drawing? Is this the idea of the main bad guy that we haven't figured out? Who the main bad guy, who started this whole thing that's happened to the professor and the kid, everything? That's my main idea. I want to bring that out and lay it out and have people understand why all this stuff happened to the professor and the kid, why they are where they are right now. So when I figure that out, it's going to be really good, and I'm really excited about drawing some new stuff after this. So I just wanted to tell you about what I like to do, what really drives me. And cartoons and drawing cartoons have always been a part of my life, and I enjoy it. So, Cowabunga, awesome, radical.